Right then, so let's have a look at the verse. You know, some of these things are just basic kind of generic ideas which you know, you can sort of learn and then play around a little bit yourself with. You know, the majority of these shapes are based on what we've already looked at in the intro part, but it's just played a lot looser, not quite as detailed, well, especially for this first part anyway. So let me show you what I mean. So if we've just come out of the sort of intro pattern and we're going into the verse, so we've got, you know, this kind of D shape we've been using. So yeah, I mean, it's certainly easier and not as complicated as the intro parts, but you know, the most important thing is just try and get a bit of a, you know, a kind of a groove happening with it. Whether using your pick and fingers or just your fingers. So after we play through that twice, we sort of then lead ourselves back to the D. At that point, I'll probably actually play just a regular D. So, I'll explain what I mean now. So we'll play this regular D. And we go to this what's that? Yeah, C add 9 or something. Third fret 5th string, 2nd fret 4th string, and 3rd fret 2nd string. Then again to this shape, which is like a E minor 7th, except this time instead of using those fingers, instead of using the 2nd and 4th, I'm using the 1st and 3rd. Although it looks like that E minor 7th shape, I'm kind of thinking in terms more of the G6 idea we were using, although instead of playing the low G, we're really concentrating from this B note. But the reason to use these two fingers is just so we've got the 2nd finger free to add a little embellishment there. And the same with the C add 9 chord, we can take our 1st finger and also use that on the 2nd fret of the 1st string and add this little note in. So if I was to play through those chords, I'll try and explain what I mean. We'll start from the beginning of the verse. You don't have to add these little things on. It sounds to me that that's used mainly in the last verse. So maybe for the first couple of verses you might just want to play. But it doesn't really matter. You can play what the hell you want and play these little embellishments or however you want them. To this little chord run, B flat, G minor, back to a D. So from the, I've heard what it sounds like on the record, and a handful of different versions. We can have two options here. So when we come from the B flat G minor D, one option would be after that D, so again go to to that D shape, but with then putting the B in the bass. Then again, same thing, but this time with the F sharp in the bass. Like in the intro, little, you know, a kind of detailed type thing, like in the intro. And from those we go to our E minor 7, and then just add the third finger to make it that G6. It's what it just sounds like to me sometimes. Often, you know, I've got my little finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, and having this high E string ringing through. Because when we get into the chorus, we'll be doing more of a standard G type of shape. So let me play through a verse and use this sort of option 1 ending, and then I'll explain another way that I've heard it being played. That would be the start of our chorus. Like I said, another option, and I've heard this used sometimes coming from the B flat G minor to the D. We go then basically just shift our 1st finger to the 2nd fret of the A string, and then to an F sharp minor 7. Then the E minor 7 to G6. So that again from the B flat. So a whole verse pattern using that 2nd type ending, something like this. I mean, again, just, you know, I'd suggest trying to learn them both, and just see how they feel. I quite like this one myself. I think just for the reason that it breaks it up from just keeping repeating this. You know, we've already got that in the sort of intro and linking section, we've got it at the start of the verse, so just to break it up a little bit, I think it's nice to have the you know, like sort of mentioned in the intro thing, it's, I don't want to go into too much detail about how and what I'm picking, not because I don't want to talk about it, but just it kind of seems pointless when, if you know the shapes, just, you know, pay attention if as much as possible, and just kind of watch, and there's just a lot of bouncing going on, whether it's picking fingers or just fingers. Anyway, give that a try, and we'll look at the chorus next.